Right, we should be live. What's up? Let me know if you can hear me. I have a completely new setup. So yeah, I'm still testing things out, but pretty happy with it. You know, like I have a new computer situation. I'm gonna show you a little bit. I have the GoPro right now, but I'm so happy with it. I finally managed to get my new computer setup going. So super excited for that. I want to test a couple of things that I was doing here in Notion that I might show you if you guys are interested. But yeah, coming in. Let me know if you have any questions. This is mostly gonna be a casual Q&A, so any questions you might have, completely welcome. In the meantime, I can start maybe experimenting with this thing I've been trying to work on. So we'll see. But yeah, feel free to drop any questions as you might have them. Right now, I'm just in Notion testing a couple of things that if you're interested, I can definitely show you. Is a new app that I'm using inside of Notion that I really love. It's for creating forms. So I want to see if that would work right now. I just don't really know if I can show you everything because of sensitive information, but we'll see. I might just create a new whole thing. We'll see. But yeah. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, let me actually show you. So what I'm doing right now is actually creating a new Notion page. Let me just make it black. That's horrible. There we go. So it's with this thing called Notion Forms. So when I create a new form, let's just see. Notion table. Yeah, so I need to create a new form. I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so newsletter, community. So this is a form that I wanted to create, and I'm gonna just give it a go right now to see. Is that your real Notion dashboard? Is it me, or does it seem a little lonely for a content creator? No. Okay, so yeah, this is my real one. It's actually very minimalist. This is how I set it up. It's actually really interesting the way that I figured out to make Notion minimalist, like very minimalist. So what I have is a dashboard, right? And in this dashboard I have everything. So I don't keep everything as like pages inside of here. I actually keep everything inside of this one right here. So instead of everything, that's where I have all the stuff. I just don't really like overpopulating this sidebar. So I actually keep it very minimalist. And in the dashboard, I just have quick access to some of the things that I end up using quite a lot. But all the things are really inside of this everything category. It's a really cool setup that I finally figured out a way to make it very minimalist, very simplistic. Also, the fact is that if I delete any of this, the content of it won't be deleted. So I really like that setup. And then in here's where I run my website from. And actually one of my favorite ones, which is the content creation tab. That is literally where I keep all of my content ideas, requests of videos that people are asking me to do, things that are coming up, you know, ready to post. And then the published archives is like when have I published specific things, or you know, what are the topics of the previous videos I made. So no, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's pretty good, it's pretty complete, but of course it does look empty and it does look minimalist, and I like to keep it very, very simple. So I actually just have these two, and that's where I access everything from. So yeah, but cool. What does that couscous mean? That is weird, lol. I was asking about this. Cucusus. I was asking about this. Is that like Cuban, US? Probably. Yeah, okay, let me see if I managed to figure this other thing out. I don't know. So it's this Notion form thingy, and I can manage to connect to, let me see, to affiliate contact form, G-forms. Yeah, this is not Notion forms. Let me see. Okay, so I have some sensitive information here that I don't know if I can fully show, but let me see if I figured out quickly. Because there's some weird issue going on right now. But yeah, we'll look into that if it's cool. PhD Notion, thank you for being here. So cool to have you here. So hi Santi, I can be here fully by the say hi. By the way, on your college, when you say type something, you can put a space and text will disappear. Type something, you can put a space. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I know that in Notion. Thank you so much, and thanks for popping in. Really appreciate that. But no worries if you can stay. I was putting a flag here. Got you. That is why. Okay, got you. Right. So it didn't work out. That's okay. So yeah, let me see again if I figure this thing out. Let's see. So I want to create a new file in here, or a new note, and let's call it community form. Okay, I'll show you what this is for. First, I just want to see if I managed to get it to work, because I was having issues a second ago. So we share it with this one, and now we'll see if this refreshes. But in the meantime, that's a lot of stuff hidden there. By the way, you have a database for jokes? Yes, I do have a database for jokes. Yeah, it's hilarious. Alex, good evening from Germany. Good to have you here, Alex. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we're doing a general Q&A, so anything regarding productivity or anything that you would like to discuss, I'm always open and happy to answer your questions. So thanks, Alex, for being here. And yeah, regarding I do have a database for jokes in my Notion setup. Like here I have my content creation, and in here I have jokes of things that I might say in videos. Let me see if I have any good ones. They're kind of stupid, but let me see. Yeah, no, I want to show you right now. They're kind of stupid. I need to polish them. But either way, the idea is that I have like certain ideas or certain jokes or whatever I want to mention in the video, and that way I just know where everything comes from. Like I know when I want to integrate a particular joke in a video, if I have any running jokes or stuff like that. You know, I believe humor is important, especially when you make content that is supposed to be somewhat entertaining. So yeah, that's why I have a whole section for jokes. With that said, let me see again if this thing is loading. If not, I might just have to use another method. So annoying. I don't know what's going on with it. But either way, as people keep joining, I'm gonna keep testing this for now. But guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. Happy to address them. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna take a look at this. Okay, let's see if that works now. So weird. Okay, I might just do it with another method. Let me just see if I can set this up in another way. But either way, like if you're curious, this is just a way to create forms inside of Notion, and it's really, really cool. But for whatever reason, right now it's just not wanting to work. Forms test, Notion forms. Yeah, really strange. We'll see. Community forms. Yeah, I'm gonna delete this thing again. Let's see what's going on. I have no idea what's going on right now. But okay, so community form. Oh, by the way, you probably hear my keyboard going really loud. Sorry if that's annoying. Okay, so now in here, I go and I reload things. It is connected to my Notion setup, so let me see what's going on. I'm gonna reload this. Yeah, guys, feel free to drop any questions in the meantime. Hello from France. How do I say your name? Is it Angon? Correct me if I'm wrong, but thanks for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. I was gonna try to set up this thing with Notion forms, but for some reason it's just not working right now. So I'm gonna just give up with it right now, and then maybe later in another video I'll just cover that, because it's getting really annoying. I have no idea why it's not working. I'm trying to set up this thing with Notion forms that is really, really cool usually. Let's just give it another go. But yeah, this is the last try. If not, I might give up on it right now. We'll see. Community. Yeah, this is so annoying. I don't know what's going on. Let me just try to go back here, create a form. Yeah, I'll just give up on it right now. So annoying. I'll figure it out some other time. But yeah, either way, if you guys want me to check out either like, you know, anything regarding Obsidian, Notion, or Logseek, happy to do that. So actually, let me know. I'm gonna do a poll. Let me know what's your favorite app. Yeah, I'm gonna do a poll right here so you guys can pick one of these options. So we have Obsidian, of course, Notion, and let's do Logseek. And of course, if you have any others, just feel free to drop them in there. But yeah, and there should be a poll popping up in a second, and you should be able to reply what is your favorite app. So yeah, we'll see. This is mostly, there we go. Yeah, so this is a very general Q&A live stream, so we'll see how it goes. I'm testing the new computer, testing the new setup, this new mouse, really enjoying it so far. I got tons of like really cool new stuff for my new computer, so really happy to be testing the live stream right now. It should be better quality than the previous live streams. But yeah, so okay, so most of you so far are saying that your favorite app is Obsidian, then Notion, and no one has replied Loxic yet. It's interesting, I'm really liking Loxic lately. I really hope it keeps evolving and improving because it's such a cool app. Let me see if I have it open in here. Here it is, yeah. Yeah, there we go. So here I have my Loxic setup. So cool, such a cool app. So, you know, I can do like a link to live stream. Yeah, and then in here I usually just write my thoughts on the day, like, I don't know, my thoughts on the current. Let me just reload it. Yeah, I just need to reload this. The cool thing is that it's connected to Obsidian, so whatever I write in here should also be reflected in here. Just the Loxic sometimes just needs a bit of refreshing. But yeah, most of you so far, while Loxic is refreshing, most of you are saying that Obsidian is your favorite one. So yeah, I don't use Notion. I like my Obsidian. Devon think Todoist combo. So yeah, Todoist is really good. I've actually thought about using Todoist a bit more, especially because I think it's a great tool to teach for people getting started on task management. I don't particularly use Todoist right now. I'm actually using Amazing Marvin, but I like your combination. I think that's a really good combo. Todoist with Devon Think. So Devon Think, I've been really interested. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Devon Think Mac only? Correct me if I'm wrong because that'd be really cool. Alex, what's up? So I'm struggling with a solution to compile a document from different Obsidian nodes. Okay, so 50 and more. Okay, so there's one way I can show you how to do that. Let's actually jump into it in a second. Let me just see what is this other question. But Alex, hang on in there. If you can actually, Alex, let me know what is the purpose of this. Are you trying to compile maybe a blog post, a book? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Just so that I can give you a bit of better advice, but I can definitely show you some of the ideas that I would have to compile all of that. But in the meantime, let's see what we have in here. So every time I set up a Notion dashboard, I'll end up with so many pages and templates that I don't use anymore. But I won't feel like deleting it because I have written something in there. Yeah, so okay, let's tackle that real quick. So here in Notion, you know, like whenever you create something, it tends to just clutter up whatever you have. So like the dashboard, you know, let's say that you want to, oops, let me just go back, that's not where. Okay, so, you know, say you want to just create something in here and you just have, this is a mess. Okay, there we go. So you just create like a new page, right? There we go. So usually when you create this into a page, so, you know, this is a method that I use now, but right now, for instance, actually, this is a normal method. So you turn into page just like that. And now whatever you write in here, of course, is going to start cluttering up your dashboard. And now you have this new page in here. And that to me gets very cluttered very quickly. So what I end up doing is rather I just create one page called everything, which I actually have down here. It's not in shared, it's in here. So I have one called everything right here. And as you can see in everything, I have a lot of like different things, right? Just like that. So what I end up doing in dashboard, these are only the things that I'm currently using. For everything else that I'm not currently using, I literally just store it in everything and I just keep it in there. So the way that you do that is you say like, okay, a new page, right? And rather than turn it into a page, you know, turn into a page, rather than doing that, you turn into a page in everything. And now this is a link page, right? So now if we write something in here and we go back to dashboard, you can access it from here. But if you don't want to keep it in here anymore because it gets cluttered, you can just delete it, but it hasn't been fully deleted. It still exists in here. A new page. There we go. So that is the idea. Yeah, I'm happy to do more tutorials on Notion and that kind of stuff because I think that is a really good point. So yeah, Devon think is Mac only. That's a shame because it looks amazing. Devon think looks really, really cool. So now I pull out all of these into a page called Archives and start a new dashboard called Home version 2 and end up with the same cycle again. Yeah, exactly. So try out the thing that I was saying, like, setting up Notion the way that I set it up. That might help. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if that helps. If not, I can be a bit more specific on what can help you. So Alex is saying, might it be a solution to import them in Notion or Logseq to throw around the notes? You're saying to the previous question on how they were doing, like the previous question on how to archive things, import them into Notion. Yeah, that's an interesting solution. So, yeah, Mac, iPhone, iPad. Yeah, definitely think it would be really cool if it worked on Windows, Linux, that kind of stuff. Right now, I literally moved my whole setup to Windows and Linux. I said goodbye to Mac, and I'm pretty happy, but of course, it's always a shame. There's always really cool apps. So, one is a book and one is a course. I would like to reorder and try around with different files and their order. Okay, yeah, I do have a suggestion for you. That's a really good point. I'm gonna open Obsidian in a second and show you what I would do. But yeah, first let's tackle this. So the Todoist plugin for Obsidian is really useful. Yeah, that's a really cool aspect of Todoist. You can, if I'm not wrong, you can embed your tasks in Obsidian. So that's really nice. Okay, so Alex, we're gonna take a look at this after we read what Joe is saying. So I really want to sync my Obsidian, but I'm not really comfortable with GitHub or willing to pay for the E2E sync. Is there any way to sync it without with something like Google Drive? So yeah, you can sync with Dropbox. Joe, we'll tackle your question in a second. Right now I want to take a look at what Alex was saying. But in the meantime, Joe, let me know, what is it that you want to sync across devices? Do you have two computers? Do you have a computer and a phone? If so, is that an iPhone or is that Android? That will help me give you a bit more advice and some recommendations. Yes, okay, additional to my original question. Yeah, so okay, either way, Alex, let me show you what you can do. So if we go here to Obsidian, what you can do is, I was having some gibberish here, so let me just create a new folder right here, just so that we can do an example. Maybe it would be even better to create a new vault, but either way, no, that's fine. Let me just delete, I created two by accident. Okay, so this one is gonna be example. Let me just rename it, didn't work, there we go. Example folder, right? And now in this example folder, we're gonna create one node. So just assume that you have node 1, and then, let's just create more nodes inside of this folder. So node 2, and so on, right? So I'm just doing it in a folder just because I don't want to I want to be able to show you visually what's going on here in my main vault, right? So now, say you have contents inside of this one, and you also have it inside of this one, and you also have more stuff in here, right? Let me actually just write something different. So like example 2. Yeah, just like that, right? Okay, now when you want to combine all the contents of these particular nodes into one main node, what I would do is I would create a new one, call this like combination of nodes. There we go. Now what you do is you hold Control and drag. So Control and drag, just like that. Well, right now I'm just gonna do enter in here. Well, it's fine like that actually. I just don't know why I have this new keyboard. I don't know why it's not working correctly. But either way, the whole idea is that you just create this kind of list, right? There we go. Yeah, you kind of create this kind of list like that. And now what you do is you put an exclamation mark at the beginning of all of this. Now what you're doing is you're embedding the material, right? So now when we go to preview mode, you can see that here you have all the contents of whatever you write in these other ones. So for instance, if I write something here in example 2, like that, you will see that it's also reflected in here, like that, you see? It goes there. Same thing if you go, for instance, here to node 1, and you write something in here, it's gonna go here. So that way, what you can do is actually, let me just open this side by side so that you can see what's going on. There we go. So now what you can do is you can rearrange the order of these things. You can put this at the bottom, and now node 1 is at the bottom, node 3, node 2, right? That's how you can reorganize all of this, and that way you're able to compile this information. And if you ever want to modify all of this, you can just copy and you can paste it, and now you can start modifying it even further, right? That kind of stuff is a bit tricky to explain. Let me know if that helped. If not, I can definitely expand a bit more on it. But yeah, in the meantime, so yeah, Joe was saying that he syncs with iCloud, really convenient with Mac, iOS, and iPad. Yeah, you know, like back to Joe's question on how to sync Obsidian. If you have a full Mac ecosystem, like Alex is saying, Mac, you know, a computer, Mac computer, iOS phone, and an iPad, it can be a lot easier. But for those of us that are not in Apple, I recommend Dropbox, to be honest. You know, I think that could be the best semi-free solution, at least if you have the free plan. Yeah, Alex, so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the praise. I'm happy to know that helped. I do have a bit of more information on how to embed nodes in my course if you want to check it out. But yeah, I mean, honestly, what I just showed you right now might just be the solution that you need. Feel free to reach out if you need any more help, because I know I kind of explained it a bit of a confusing way. But yeah, either way, happy to help, Alex. Let me know if you have any more questions. So that's pretty clever, actually, having only the current project in the dashboard. We'll try it on a report. Cool. Yeah, let me know how it goes. And Joe is saying, so I actually use Rocketbook Notebook, and it basically scans handwritten notes and makes them into PDFs. But my issue is that I need to use my iPhone to scan it using the app. And I use Mac and iPhone. Okay, in that case, what Alex does, where did Alex say this? Yeah, so, you know, he says he uses iCloud, really convenient with Mac, iOS, and iPad. So, Joe, definitely, I would say Alex's recommendation on using iCloud might be the best way to do it, especially because you need to have, you know, a bit of a combination with this other app that you're using, Rocketbook Notebook. So, yeah, I honestly think iCloud might be just the best solution for you. I honestly don't use iCloud, but my girlfriend does, so I'm kind of familiar with how it works. But I also know that there's tons of information in the community. Like there's people that always discuss this in the Discord community in Obsidian. So definitely try to ask for help in there if you feel a bit stuck. But iCloud is definitely the best solution for you if you don't want to pay for the Obsidian sync solution that Obsidian provides, you know. But yeah. That's the idea. So let's end this poll. Let's see where the poll was at. You could probably see it in the chat right now, but it was something like most people are using Obsidian and then Notion. And yeah, Loxic didn't win today. There we go. So yeah, Obsidian, we have 71% of you are using Obsidian, 28% Notion, and no one is using Loxic. Oh, that's so sad for Loxic. but yeah, no, I get you. Like, it's really cool how Obsidian, of course, like, I've been making mostly Obsidian videos, so it's more likely that you guys use Obsidian. But I honestly think that Notion and Obsidian are starting to compete a lot more than they used to. I think back in the, you know, even a year ago, like everyone was using, or well, a year ago, Obsidian was just created. So either way, let's say a couple of months ago, everyone was just using Notion, but a lot more people are moving to Obsidian, which is great because I love Obsidian. I think it's a great app. So yeah, happy to see that. Yeah, what else can we do? If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them because I'm happy to cover them. Yeah, so Joe says, I'll definitely check it out. Thanks, Alex and Santi. Yeah, so iCloud, honestly, I think if you have like a Mac computer and an iPhone, iCloud is gonna be incredible. Like people have really good systems like that. Alex says, some months ago, there was a problem when iCloud needed a bit long to sync. 5 to 15 minutes, but it seems to be resolved. Ah, that's great. That's great because like that is a great thing about Obsidian Sync. Maybe some other day I might do a bit of a, you know, showing you in my phone how quickly it syncs from the desktop to the Obsidian app because it's actually impressive. I have a bit also like of a similar setup to what Joe is saying, but rather of using iCloud, I'm using Dropbox. And that is because I use Loxic and Obsidian together, and using Obsidian Sync is a bit trickier if you're using another app on top of it. It's really complicated, maybe some other day we'll get into it. But yeah, Alex is saying, question about Notion and templates. Okay, so let's say I got a third-party CRM template and another template. I want to combine them. If we're combining two or more, yeah, you can definitely combine two templates. Another template, I want to combine them. So, okay, let me ask you this, Alex. So, are both of these templates tables, databases? And do you want to combine them into one master database? Or is it something different? Because if it is combining two tables, I definitely have some tips for you. Yeah, if you can give me a bit more information on are there two CRM templates that you want to combine? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Let me know more info on that. I can definitely take a look and show you what I would suggest. Joe is saying, I was having that issue too and figured maybe it was time to try a new solution, but it's been fixed and I'll try it again. That's great. Yeah, so that's interesting. You already tried iCloud, but you had that problem. Yeah, hopefully it's solved. I really can't say much to iCloud. I really don't use it because I don't have a Mac or Apple ecosystem. I totally see why you guys use Apple though. Like, Apple is super convenient, super nice to use. Let me just move this microphone over here. There we go. Guys, is it too freaking loud when I type? Because this keyboard is mega loud. Like, it's one of the loudest keyboards I've ever used. And I like it a lot, but it's super loud. And because I have it so close to the microphone, I forgot to test if it's actually annoying or if it's alright. But yeah, either way, let's try to tackle Alex's question, because this is an interesting problem. Let me see if I can show you here my screen right now. As you can see, I have a lot of gibberish. But yeah, so to Alex's point on how to combine, for instance, two tables. Let me know again, Alex, if I got that right. I'm gonna create a new thing. I'll later be deleting all this stuff, but let's just do new example, or merging templates. Yeah, merging tables. Okay, so here, say we're gonna create an inline table. That is not working. My keyboard's acting really strange. Sorry for that. But either way, inline. Come on. Table. Here we go. Okay. So this is table 1. And this other one, I'm gonna just create another one. So table. Table 2. Okay, so let's see what Alex is saying. Okay, I would like to experiment with a recipe template, but use it as a database for life hacks and habits, and then use the data with other templates. Okay, let me see if I got that right. Okay. Use it as a database for life hacks and habits, and then use the data with other templates. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna show you something. Let me see if this is what you need. If not, definitely feel free to ask more questions or correct me if I'm wrong. But okay, I think I know what you mean. Let me see if I figured out exactly what you mean. So for instance, you have a table 1, right? And then you have, of course, another table in here, and maybe you want them to communicate between them, right? Database for life hacks and habits, and then use the data with other templates. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you right now is I'm gonna show you two things. Okay, one is gonna be how these two tables can interact with one another, and that is by creating relation. Okay, so let's just do some example in here. Let's just do example 1, example 2, like that, right? Something like this, right? So these are two separate tables. What we can do is we can create a new one. So let me just delete this. Wait, let me just delete this because I want to show you from scratch. So okay, you go in here and then you create a relation, right? So now we're gonna link it to table 2, like that, right? And now whatever we have in here, so let's call it relation, or yeah, let's call it table 2. That makes more sense, right? So now in here, I can select something 2, and this is gonna be linked to this one. And this one is kind of like a backlink into it, right? So whenever I click on this one, it's gonna take me to the contents of something too. So that's how you can connect two separate tables, right? So let me know if that's what you're looking after, because this is a way in which you can have like a bit of a link between like example 1 and something 2. Even though these are separate tables, you can still link them, right? So let me know if that's what you're after, because I think that could help you like navigate and create links between things. So yeah, let me know, Alex, if that's what you were looking for when you were asking your question. So yeah, hope that helps, man. Let me know if that helps. Cool. In the meantime, what I was doing earlier, which wasn't working, was testing out Notion forms. I honestly closed it right now because it wasn't working, but like it's a really cool way to interact between Notion and a website. But yeah, I think it's not worth testing it right now because it got really annoying. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no, I accidentally clicked somewhere weird. Either way, yeah, cool. All right. What is Joe saying? So Joe says, I was curious what your Obsidian organization looks like. I have lots of files, and while my organization is pretty clean, it's fairly ineffective. I find I have a lot to use. I find I have to use a lot of folders, but that takes a while to navigate through. Yeah, I get you. I'm gonna show you in a second. What is Alex saying? So that already helps. Thanks. Have to dive deeper into Notion. So yeah, no, Alex, actually, if you have any more questions right now, we can definitely tackle them. Don't feel, don't be worried about if they're too beginner of questions. I've been on Notion on a while, and I know it can be daunting. It's definitely not that easy to understand some of the more advanced things. So, feel free to ask more questions. I'm also happy to maybe plan a video based on your questions for some other time. So no worries, and I hope that helps, man. So yeah, let's go back to Joe's question. So I'm gonna show you my Obsidian setup. And what I actually do is, well, there's quite a few things that I've been doing in here. I'm gonna delete this example right now, or at least like some of the stuff that I just put in here. Yeah, so what I have in Obsidian, and this is my personal one, so this is completely unfiltered. So if I ever find any sensitive information, I'll just probably switch to my face, but for now it's all fine. So let me show you. So what I have in here in Obsidian is I have my Zettelkasten, which I'm actually kind of changing a bit, but these are like my, let's call it atomic nodes. And in these nodes, I just managed to like put whatever information that I'm learning or something that I want to learn over time, and I just make it as concise as I can, right? So that is my main, like the most valuable part of my Obsidian setup. Let me just check real quick the music. That is all good. You guys can hear the music, right? Yeah, cool. Let me know if the music is out. I think it should be fine. Either way, back to Obsidian. So that is one of my most valuable sections in Obsidian. Nodes and the way that they're linked between one another. This helps me resurface information over time, So that is one of the main places where I do things. The other important ones, as you can see here, I have things such as book notes, for instance. That is also really important for me, like some concepts of books and how they link between different authors and different thinkers, that kind of stuff. So I do use folders, On top of this, I have my daily notes, okay? So my daily notes are the ones that I link with Logseq. You can definitely just have this in a folder called daily. I do it in a place called journals, just because that way I manage to interact properly with Logseq. So whenever I write something in here, it should go to my daily notes in here. There we go. So as you can see, whatever I write here in Obsidian, it should go to Logseq in here. Let's give it a second. Man, I'm having the worst day right now with like Logseq. But either way, the whole idea is that it links. There it goes, right? And you can do the same thing here in Logseq. So my main workflow, both in Logseq and in Obsidian, as you can see, it already worked in there, is to use the daily notes for almost everything. So I literally write almost everything on my daily note, and then from that daily note, I can link to tons of different places. So for instance, this is the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing as in Obsidian, but of course, because you use Obsidian, I'm going to show you here. In here, let's say that I I am writing about my live streams, right? So I do my live stream, and then in here I start writing my thoughts about it. So be like, today we had interesting questions, and maybe the topics, or I can do like topics. I do almost everything in an outline. I can be like topics for Notion, tables, Obsidian Sync, that kind of stuff. And this is how I keep track of absolutely everything, and I find it such a nice workflow. So this is how I organize most of the things in Obsidian. But of course, there's some other folders that I've used, how I interact with other apps such as Anki, Ginkgo. Like, this is completely optional. And the example folder that we just created, daily is a normal way to do this daily notes, but of course, because I integrated with Logseq, I have it here in journals, some private stuff, some projects. I honestly have stopped using these folders quite a bit. Like, I was using folders quite heavily, but recently I stopped using folders. I still have them in there, but I'm really using mostly daily notes, and I think that's a really good workflow. So no worries, Alex, keep asking questions. How would you tackle 12 years and 12,000 Evernote nodes to get them somehow smart into Obsidian? Start a new vault, import them into main vault, how to get a basic structure. Oh man, that's such a difficult question to tackle. You know, it really depends. Like, the question would be, do you really value your Evernote notes? You know, are these notes like important to use still, or are they just notes that you had in the past but you don't really use anymore? I honestly think that the purpose of notes is, I mean, there's two aspects of notes, right? Like, there are the notes that you want to resurface over time, that you want to be able to revisit, and the more you revisit them, the more that you write on top of them, the better and smarter you become, or the more you are able to write maybe on your books or blog posts or whatever you want to write or create about. And there's the types of notes that you literally take so that you reinforce whatever it is that you are already writing. You know, like, whatever you're already learning in the moment, you might just want to write just to reinforce whatever you've been learning, right? But then the question is, like, do you really need to resurface them? Because if you do, then it is worth moving those ones to Obsidian. But the ones that you don't see that much value into revisiting, or you don't really revisit over time, then it might not be necessary to move everything. So I would just say move little by little everything that you feel becomes relevant over time, right? That's my advice, but let me know if you want me to elaborate more on that. Brian, you're awesome, man. Thank you for hopping in. You're so cool, man. By the way, Brian, I saw that you also did a Morgan video, and it was really cool. And I also uploaded a Morgan video a couple days after you, so that was really cool. But then I realized you probably were reached out by the Morgan people too. So that was really cool, man. Happy to see you also like Morgan, because Morgan Calendar is such a cool app. There's definitely a lot of pushback from people not feeling that Morgan is worth the price. That's definitely, you know, a bit of a controversial topic that I started replying to a lot of comments of people that didn't feel that Morgan was worth it. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Brian. But yeah, thanks for hopping in, man. So what is Joe saying? That's a really interesting way to organize. So to confirm, you make a note that connects to all the other nodes you will need to every day. Yeah, kind of. So what I do, and again, if I show you this example, for instance, I do this other example of something like memory. There we go. So memory is a topic that I am really interested in. So memory as in memory techniques. These are memory palaces. If you've seen Sherlock, it's that kind of stuff, you know, memorizing things with this particular technique. So if there's something that I learned today about memory, is like today I made some, I don't know, major breakthroughs with my memory techniques. Oh man, I'm typing so slow in this new keyboard. Either way, right? So now the idea is that whenever you have this, you can actually just like go to memory. I'll actually show you in preview mode, it's a bit nicer. There we go. And now here you can see all the backlinks, all the days where I mentioned memory, right? So you can see in here, there's tons of like the mention of memory. Of course, in here you would like to see more context so that you can see what is going on. You can also expand everything so that you can literally see at a glimpse. Is that the right word? Yeah. So that you can see absolutely everything that you're writing. Personally, I have this workflow a bit more optimized in Logseq. So I preferred seeing this in Logic. So I'll give you the example of memory. Well, actually, we can just click in here. It's a bit of a nicer display. As you can see in here, everything that I've written about memory, I can see it here and I can expand it as needed. You know, so I'm definitely entering a dip, or I was having some troubles with this system, that kind of stuff, you know. So that's how I really like organizing absolutely everything these days in Obsidian and Logic, right? Oh, no way, did Danny? That's crazy. I didn't even see his video yet, but yeah, I'm really good friends with Danny. He's a great guy, man. I was away for the weekend, so I didn't see that he also uploaded a video on Morgan Calendar. But yeah, it seems like all of us are making Morgan Calendar videos. They up the price too, but they use that cash to speed up development. Then there's a bright future for them. I agree, you know, like I honestly think that when they have a major breakthrough and people start seeing like why Morgan is gonna be literally the best calendar setup, then I really think it's gonna be worth it. But I definitely understand why people are a bit reluctant of why it might not be worth it for them, the price. But I'm glad you see, man, like Brian, I'm glad you see the value in Morgan as well, because I've definitely had a bit of a hard time not trying to convince people necessarily, but just, you know, like kind of like giving the counter arguments to why people think Morgan is not worth it. I do think it's worth it, but I understand why it's debatable. What is Alex saying? So that's in the question. Surely not all of them, but since I arrived in Obsidian, I only open EN to look up something specific. And then Memory Palace is really cool, but with Aphantasia, it's really hard to use. Aphantasia? What is Aphantasia? I don't know what that is. Let me take a look. I'll Google it real quick. So, Aphantasia. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. It's inevitable to voluntarily create a mental picture in your head. Ah, okay, got you. People living there are unable to picture a scene. Person. Oh man, I'm so dumb. I thought it was an app at first. Damn. Yeah. So, no way. That's crazy. Do you have Aphantasia? That's horrible, man. Oh man, that's such a tragic thing to have when you are interested in memory techniques. Sorry to hear that, Alex, but yeah. Either way, sorry for thinking Aphantasia was an app. I'm so dumb. I really have to look into Luxic. Can I use it with the whole vault or just a specific Luxic folder? I honestly recommend using Luxic with a specific Obsidian folder. That's just me. I think that's a better way to approach it. But yeah, Luxic is amazing. Check out, I have a course on it if you're interested. I also have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel you can check out. So Brian is saying, so yeah, if anything, an app with payment model is more likely to stick around than a free open source alternative that loses support for maintainers. I agree, man. Like, I'm sure you've also experienced this, Brian, but I was also very heavy into like the open source community and just using everything open source. But over time, I started realizing that perhaps sometimes it does make sense to use proprietary software. I kind of made a bit of a switch where I'm not that exclusive on just open source, because I agree, you know, like paid services, they can last way longer because they have the funding. So I completely agree, Brian, definitely. Well, a quick shout out to Francesco. Thanks, man, for being here. I always see you in these streams, so I really appreciate it. So Daybreach Calendar, I haven't seen it, and don't worry, Joe, I'll get back to your question in a second. But let me just Google it real quick. So Daybreacher, Daybreach, sorry, yeah, there we go. So Daybreach, is it this one? I bet it's this one. Manage your time, not your calendar. Looks familiar, but I might just be confused with another one that is quite similar. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so I'm not sure if this is the same one. Yeah, okay, no, it probably is not the same one, so never mind. But I'll check it out. It looks really cool. So I'll save it for now, and I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out later because I'm not familiar with it, so I don't want to make things up. Don't tell DT that. Yeah, I agree, man. DistroTube is such a cool guy, man. I absolutely love what he's doing. I learned so much from him. What a great YouTuber. Honestly, like my Linux journey was great because of him and also because of Luke Smith. Luke Smith got me into more going towards Arch-based distros like Manjaro, Garuda, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's tricky, you know, the open source movement is definitely novel and is really cool, but sometimes it just doesn't work in real life as much as I wish it did. That's just me, I don't know. That's why I'm so good with text. Ah, got you. That's really, yeah, because of the what you were telling me earlier about the memory techniques, right? Yeah, Joe, I had a question here that I didn't want to neglect. So I really want to thank you, Santi, and also Brian. Brian, shout out. I'm a student, and Obsidian was pretty difficult for me to learn. Both the amount of videos, how helpful they were, helped me out a lot. Yeah, I mean, Brian does a great job at this, so yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the praise. Thank you, Joe, for that. It means a lot. But yeah, Brian has made a huge contribution to making Obsidian accessible and really powerful. So, of course, big shout out to Brian. Maybe you confuse it with Fantastical. Yeah, actually, there's another one. It wasn't Fantastical, the one that I got Daybreach confused with. I honestly can't remember the name of the other one. If I do, I'll definitely probably make a video about like other calendar possibilities. This one looks really cool. It almost looks like a Kanban board setup. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, Fantastical is iOS only. That is why I don't use it. I moved out of Mac fully. Like, I don't have a Mac anymore. I had it was from 2013, old iMac. It's completely gone, and I replaced it for this monster right here. That one right there. Tons of cables I still need to manage, but this thing is incredible. And I have a double monitor setup in here. And so this is Windows now, but I still have my laptop over there that is Linux. So yeah, really excited for, getting a lot of new apps that I wasn't able to use in Linux before. But yeah, no, my Windows setup right now is a beast. It's incredible. So Brian is saying, Luke got me into Linux, Arch, and Beam in the beginning, as I sit here with my ThinkPad next to me. Yeah, definitely, man. Luke's Meet is awesome. Really cool, man. And I know that so Brian, you moved to Mac, right? But you said you were gonna move back to Linux. Have you moved back to Linux again? Because that ThinkPad, yeah, is that ThinkPad on Linux? I bet, of course it must be. Yeah, some praise back to Joe from Brian. There you go. Awesome, guys. Yeah. So actually, thanks again, Francesco, for showing me this Daybridge thing. It looks really, really cool. Now, what I wonder is, does it work? Is it cross-platform? Or is it like Mac only or something like that? Where can I see that? Huh. It's kind of tricky. So it says for iOS or an Android. Is it just a mobile app? I mean, I bet it is not, because in here we can see it as a desktop. But I can't find more info on if it's cross-platform. So let me know if you know that, Francesco. So you don't need a heater anymore. Yeah, exactly, definitely. But going back to this one, let me see if I find it. So follow Daybridge on Twitter. No ads. So I assume this is paid. That's one thing that kind of like sometimes annoys me about certain apps. Let me just make it white. Is the fact that they don't really tend to say the price or like tons of information that I find really useful. Manage your time, manage your calendar. Daybridge a calendar built for people, not companies. So they're on beta. Yeah, beta program. So probably it's not even public. Maybe that's what's up. So just look at the Loxy course. So it explains how to combine Obsidian and Loxy. We'll take a look on the weekend. Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, it's really made for people that, here it is. So here's my Loxy course. Yeah, it's made really for people that maybe have some experience with Obsidian, at least that section, the Loxy plus Obsidian section. That is really for those of you that already use Obsidian and want to combine it. I think there's tons of benefits. There's also a lot of headaches, so it's not like perfect, but I honestly use it all the time, these methods. And I haven't found anywhere else that really teaches you how to set this up in an easy, beginner-friendly way to set up. So yeah, check it out. But of course, it's really also meant to be a standalone Loxy course. So the installation of Loxy, and I'm definitely going to be updating it over time. But this section is made for people that already use Obsidian. So yeah, thanks for giving it a look. It really supports the channel and everything I do. Like literally, I make a full-time living from the courses. So any support really means a lot to me. Let's see what Brian is saying. So yeah, still on Mac because of school, content creation, and the system. But Arc has my heart, and I plan to do my own custom build from scratch and make the ADHD OS with all kinds of automations. Oh, that's really cool, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with Linux. I was wondering, like, do you plan to make content on Linux on YouTube? Because I know that, of course, in the past you were doing that quite a bit, but I'd love to know if that is a plan of you know, what you plan to do in YouTube. But I get you, Mac is a lot easier for editing videos. At the end of the day, you know, a lot of the editing software in Linux is still lacking in my opinion. Even DaVinci Resolve, which is my favorite one, doesn't fully work on Linux unless you fully pay. I don't know, it's controversial. It's beta testing for now. I'm patiently waiting for to try it and review it on my channel. Got you, yeah. I'll definitely take a look on your channel when you do that. If not, feel free to reach out so that I check it out because that looks really exciting. I gotta head out. Morning stand-up with the DevOps team. I got to go back to learning about Python multi-threading. Have a nice stream. Perfect, man. Have a nice stream. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being here, Brian. You're awesome. Have a great day and best of luck with those cool projects. So we'll talk soon. See you, man. Arch Linux still out there? Stopped using Linux in 2008. Yeah, Arch Linux is really strong right now. People are really using a lot of it. More Linux content possible in the future. Yeah, excited for that, man. I can't wait to see what you do with that. Sorry I'm late. Only just realized that you were streaming. No problem, man. Like, honestly, thank you, Torrent, for always being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely need to get a schedule so that those of you that like hopping on the stream, you know, like most of the times, I definitely want to set up a schedule. So I'll definitely let you know once I have a schedule. Right now it's kind of a bit more impromptu. But yeah, cool. And Brian is saying, oh yeah, to Alex. But yeah, no, Turan, thank you for being here, man. So like, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. This is really a Q&A on whatever topic that is going on at the moment. So yeah, and with that, I was gonna show you, what is it? So there's another one. Let me see if I find this. Let me see if I find it, because to Francesco's point, I'm opening up Twitter. I had someone recommend this really cool application to me a while ago. Let me see if I find it quickly. Oh man, it's so hard to find things between like between Twitter DMs. Logbook. Okay, it's this one right here. Okay, so this is the one that I was confused with. I found it. So Francesco, this is the one that I was confused with, Logbook. But honestly, this is more of a task manager rather than a calendar application. But I think it works in a similar way. You see why I was confused? Like, they seem pretty similar sales pitch. And this is also on beta, and it's by someone that reached out to me saying that they were building this project and they wanted me to check it out. It looks really similar. It's called Logbook, and yeah, I mean, I do have high hopes. It seems to be mostly aimed at teams. So yeah, I really want to test like how it works for personal task management, because it looks really cool and the aesthetics of it looks incredible. So I'm really excited to test that out as soon as I get access to it. Yeah. What would be a great course? How would you build your website with Jekyll or Hugo? Yeah, Obsidian Publish is nice, but I would like to use Obsidian Pages as a website. That's, yeah, man. So I'm happy to know you agree, because I've been thinking about making a Hugo course for the longest time. So let me show you, for those of you not familiar with Hugo, is this one right here. So it's a way to create websites from Markdown files, right? So I had a Hugo website. You know, I mean, honestly, right now I have it I can access it a bit easier from my laptop. I haven't set it up in here because I no longer use that one right now. But it's a really cool method to create a website out of Markdown files that I really love. I honestly believe it's mostly for tech savvy people that feel really comfortable with a terminal, people that feel comfortable with GitHub and that kind of stuff. If so, I think this is an amazing tool. But right now I'm actually using one called Super, and this one I absolutely love. Of course, it does not work with Obsidian, but rather with Notion. But that is how I managed to create my website. So my website is fully made out of Super. So this is made in Notion, 100% made in Notion. And as you can see in here, this is my website. So I just manage absolutely everything from Notion, and everything I do just publishes here. And I absolutely love this method. I think this is a much more beginner-friendly way to create a website, one that is really, really powerful, and it still requires a bit of learning. So I've been thinking about making a course on Super, which is this way to build Notion websites. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, let me know, because that, you know, I have quite a few different courses I want to create, but I definitely always struggle knowing which one is the one that you guys are more interested in. Is it possible to export an Obsidian vault or folder as HTML and upload it via FTP? Yeah, okay, and then Netlify, just Spiral. Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. It's just super tricky. I've tried it, and it's just not a nice workflow. Personally, if you're very tech savvy, it could work, but even then, like, I don't think it's the best workflow. I honestly think that Hugo is the best way to do a website if you really want to do it with Obsidian. I might explore that in the future. At least I might make a video just to see, just to show people how it works, to see if there's a lot of interest. And if so, maybe in the future I might make a course on it. I found out that Remnode can have custom CSS. I lost one day customizing my notes. Yeah, I get you. I also discovered that in Remnode, and I also spent quite a bit of time customizing things. But yeah, I mean, I customize just very few things. But yeah, I love creating themes, as you may be familiar, like I make quite a few different themes inside of Obsidian. This is one that I haven't published yet, actually. It's kind of like a purple setup. It looks very similar to the original one, but it's very purple and it's very like nice big font with tons of spacing. But the ones that I've created with CSS are Reverie, this one right here, and Wasp. So in my community plugins, not community plugins, what am I talking about? In my community themes, I have these two, but I'm thinking of publishing one more. And Remnode, I was just gonna like create one public one for people to download, but then I stopped using Remnode and I never got around to it. That's what I use Luxy for, as my logbook. Yeah, exactly. That's true, like I also use Luxy for that purpose, and I absolutely love it. Here's some of the examples that I was giving. But no, Luxy is such an awesome tool. I really can't wait for it to be a bit more stable so that more people can jump into Luxy, because I love it. I absolutely love Luxy. I'd be interested in a Hugo Jekyll course. Mostly use WP at the WordPress, at the moment. And I know that's too heavy for some of my future projects. Yeah, no, I get you. Like, it's good to see that there's interest in Hugo, because it can definitely be a bit tricky to learn. Again, I honestly would really struggle to make a course that is 100% for total beginners, because you need to have a lot of knowledge, previous knowledge, such as how to use a terminal, which of course in Windows is kind of annoying. It's a lot easier in Mac, it's a lot easier in Linux. In Windows, still pretty of an annoying process in my opinion. I'm still trying to figure out better ways to use a terminal in Windows, because at the moment what you need to do is you need to go to, well, I have it on my second monitor right here, but like, what is it called? PowerShell. Windows PowerShell, and yeah, here it is. Like, look how ugly that terminal looks. And then here you can like change to downloads. Yeah, there you go, that kind of stuff. But like, I honestly really don't like the terminal in Windows, the PowerShell by default. I guess it just takes some time to get used to. I don't even know. But like, because a lot of people actually use Windows, there's tons of things that if I want to make it very accessible, very beginner friendly, would be really tricky to teach. Again, it would be things such as the terminal and GitHub. But of course, Turan, I assume that you already know GitHub. I assume that Alex also knows GitHub. And if so, Hugo is a really, really good alternative. I use it with Netlify, and that is such a nice setup. So yeah, running out of water, so we're going to be wrapping this up soon. So if you guys have any final questions, I'm happy to tackle them. If not, I really appreciate you guys being here. As I said before, I definitely want to have a schedule on these streams. I know I've been pretty bad with that, but I will have a schedule soon, as I figured out what's the best way to do this thing. So Logseek, along with Brave, is a main app I have open all the time. I do find I have to close and reopen every now and then because it starts to become unstable. Yeah, I get you. Like, I really can't wait for Logseek to be super stable. Like, for anyone using Logseek right now, it really is a matter of just hitting this button all of the time, and that way things work out pretty nicely. So Turan is saying, I don't know how to use GitHub at all. Yeah, I got you. No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, GitHub is one of those things that just takes, like, to me, it took me a couple of weeks to get the hang of GitHub. That's the thing, like, I would love to teach Hugo, and I think it'd be really cool, but I honestly would have to teach GitHub. So in that case, I don't know if I should maybe make two courses, one where it's like GitHub for general purpose of learning it, and then a course on how to use Hugo for building websites. I still don't know, that is what I'm struggling with. Alex is saying, what is Brave? So Brave is a browser. It's like Chrome, like Google Chrome, or like Safari, or like Internet Explorer. That Brave is a really cool browser. It's probably, okay, my top 3 browsers: Firefox, then Brave, then Google Chrome. But when you ask me which one I'm using, I am the worst, and I'm using Chrome. I sold my soul for Chrome recently because there were a few things that just weren't working in Brave. I use a couple of, like, even this plugin, okay? So the plugin that I use for popping up your questions in here, like that is a Chrome extension, which does not work in Brave, does not work in Firefox. So things like that force me to use Chrome. But honestly, I do recommend Brave, especially for privacy focus reasons. So privacy focused web browser that's based on Chromium. Yeah, that's what Brave is. There you go. I'd be happy to learn GitHub as well, as it's something I never, I need to learn eventually. Yeah, I get you. Like I really have struggled to decide if it's worth for me doing a GitHub course, because at the end of the day, I use GitHub every day. I use it quite a lot, but for the purposes of backing up my notes. Man, yeah, I think it would be worth it to make a GitHub course. I think it's really important to be able to learn GitHub. Yeah, okay, thanks for letting me know that you're interested in that, because, I think it's a really valuable skill to know GitHub. You can back up your notes, you can create websites from it, you can like configure tons of really cool stuff. Either way, it's a great point. Have you tried Vivaldi browser? Yeah, I've tried it. It's actually really nice. Wait, no. I haven't tried Vivaldi. I get confused with Opera. No. Let me check if I'm not, because the one that I've tried is Opera. This one right here, right? The one with this logo. So this one I've tried quite a bit. Vivaldi, I don't think I tried it. Vivaldi, let me see the logo. Browser. Yeah, no, I haven't tried Vivaldi. No. Is it good? I was just about to lie, but no, I haven't tried it. Is it good? Do you like it? What makes you like it? I might have to use Chrome more due to a few issues cropping up with Brave. Yeah, I mean, I was so disappointed with Brave the moment it didn't support literally 2 things that I needed. One was Google Keep, and the other one was some browser extensions, like the one that I was talking about a second ago. So because of those reasons, I had to move to Chrome. I honestly am not a big fan of Chrome. I would advise people to use Brave if they can, but every now and again there's one of the things that you just need to move to Chrome for. So maybe that helps. GitHub, Netlify, Terminal are really overwhelming without a really clear goal. Using Obsidian for a part of my website would be a very good motivation to tackle all of those topics. Yeah, I agree. Like, a lot of people really want to be able to create a website out of their markdown files, like in like in Obsidian, but of course it can be a daunting process to learn all of these things. So yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye for that. Like, I honestly think it's a bit easier to learn these things in Mac because the terminal is so much better. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are using Windows. So now that I'm in Windows, I don't know what operating system to use to teach this. I could teach it in Linux, but not many people use Linux. Although a lot of the concepts are kind of like broader. I don't know, it's kind of tricky. Maybe I could find ways to teach it without the terminal. I know there's some like applications that help you use GitHub without the terminal. I never use them. I prefer the terminal. But for beginners, I think it might be a good idea. Maybe others would help the approach through using Markdown for a website as well. Yeah, people would benefit from this. I agree. Yeah, I'll definitely explore it. I know I want to make a course on how to use this super thing, but that is for Notion. So if these work for Obsidian, that'd be incredible, but unfortunately it's just for Notion. But I honestly think that would be really cool because, as you can see, you can create amazing, really easy to use websites like the one that I'm using here, and you can organize all types of things so efficiently. It took me such a short amount of time to create this website compared to what it's taken me in other software. So I'm really happy with this. I'm really excited to teach this to people. Vivaldi's Opera as well, or not? Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't tried Vivaldi, so I wasn't sure Was an opera bought by the Chinese? Yeah, I don't know. Really? Is Vivaldi default on Arco? Arco Linux, I assume, right? Yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, cool. Guys, again, if you have any final questions, happy to tackle them. But yeah, I'm running out of water, so that's when I know I need to start wrapping it up. I still got a couple of sips. Any final questions you guys might have? Happy to answer them. If not, we'll be wrapping this up in a second. Oh wow, I'm really excited with the new computer. So good to see that everything in the stream is working. Seems like the quality is a bit better. And I will be using my, where's my camera? It's probably put away in the closet. Either way, I will be using my real camera once I get the right adapter. So even the quality of this GoPro will improve, because as you can see, this is a GoPro. It kind of like distorts everything when I get closer to it. But yeah, I'm really excited to improve the quality of the stream even further. I switched from Opera to Vivaldi a couple of years ago, mostly because of visual customization. Yeah, there's definitely some really cool stuff about using browsers for aesthetic purposes. I'm really heavy on aesthetics. I honestly really like the aesthetics of Firefox and some of the additional things that just Chrome doesn't have. But like, yeah, Vivaldi, I haven't tried it. I might give it a go. Here's a video idea for you. Project management on Linux. Ooh, there's one app that is incredible in Linux, right? I just don't know, like that. Okay, I agree that this is a great idea. It's just that I just never know if the audience, like the people that I make videos for, are interested in Linux. I think it's a great video to do, but like honestly, I've been struggling with this for a while. Like I've been wanting to make Linux videos, but honestly, I just don't know if people are interested in Linux enough. Personally, you know, I honestly started seeing a lot of like problems in like using Linux as your main setup. I honestly think Linux works great as a secondary setup, or like if you have Linux and something else, you know. I was using Linux exclusively for about a year, but then I moved to Linux and Mac. Now I am Linux and Windows. So I honestly think most of the best apps are cross-platform, or at least the ones that I recommend tend to be cross-platform, because I think that's a more inclusive way to do these things. But either way, in case you're interested, the one that I think is incredible for Linux is called Task Warrior, and this one is hands down the best task manager, but it does require knowledge of the terminal. But yeah, the best task manager for Linux I think is incredible. But again, like it does work in Mac. I've used it in Mac. I haven't tested if it works in Windows. Actually, I don't even know if they support Windows. Ah yeah, here it is. Bash and Ubuntu on Windows. Okay, but it seems like you need to kind of adapt some Linux stuff in Windows for it to work. Either way, yeah, it's a good video idea, so thanks for that. Cool, guys. Alright, so I think I'll be wrapping this up. With Windows 11 coming, more people are likely gonna move to other platforms like Mac, Linux. Huh, that's interesting. I honestly think Windows 11 is looking incredible. Like right now I am in Windows 10, but of course I try not to make it look like Windows, because the aesthetic of Windows 10 is not that nice. I honestly am really looking forward to Windows 11. But it's interesting how you see it as the other side, like people are more likely to move to other platforms like Mac and Linux. I honestly think Windows 11, it looks amazing. Not really sure how it's gonna turn out, but I'm really excited for Windows 11 because it looks aesthetic. Thank you for the suggestions. We'll check it out. Cool, definitely. All right. So I think with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Again, I will have a schedule sometime soon, but right now these streams are very impromptu. So if you happen to pop into them, I'm thankful for your time spending here. And with that said, I hope you had a good time in the stream, and I hope you have an amazing day. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up, and looking forward to the next streams. Keep an eye on my Twitter. That's where I'm gonna be announcing more stuff, or if not in the YouTube channel, I'll probably be announcing it a bit more, but perhaps Twitter is the quickest place to keep an eye for these streams. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. See you guys. Bye. Have a good day.